Hey people, hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. Today I wanted to talk to you about Sword Soul Tenyi. Basically, I've been playing Sword Soul for 3 to 4 years now, and with the new event coming up, Sword Soul is basically entirely unbanned. So I thought, why not make a video explaining my deck list to you, and maybe that could put you in the right path for you to build your own Sword Soul Tenyi deck. Now, you can't get really like a structure deck for Sword Soul right now. There was a structure deck for Sword Soul like a year ago, but that's been discontinued. That's why you guys need to get that Sprite deck as soon as possible. Post your Sprite deck campaign codes down in the comments and share and follow each other so you guys can get a Sprite deck. But without further ado, I'm just going to go down card by card. Adhara. So Adhara is your 1-star Tenyi. He is like the only one other than the other 4-star that you have that you can normal summon. 1 Tenyi on field is very important. This deck is all about getting Tenyis on the board so that you can link them off into non-effect monsters. The thing about Tenyi Adhara is, or Tenyis in general, if you control no effect monsters, you can special summon from your hand. So you can special summon this, go into this, and then special summon another one. The only thing is though, is Tenyis are once per turn. So if you had 2 Adharas in your hand, you wouldn't be able to special summon both. You would have to special summon and normal summon one. This deck has once per turns in it, ingrained in it. With vessels, it sort of becomes full combo, if you know what I mean. So it's a good one to keep in hand. Maxi, obviously, it's one of the best hand traps. You should always be carrying one of these. Really sucks if you get Maxi, and I like to carry Cross-Out Designator to make sure I don't get Maxi. Ash Blossom of Joyous Spring, you know, gotta carry 3 of these. I don't know what else to say. Shit Thana, right? The new cards that were released quite recently require you to have a 4-star Tenyi in your deck for the combos that are available to it. I like Shit Thana because whilst it's in the graveyard and a non-effect monster gets popped, it will pop one of the enemy and resummon that non-effect monster back to the field. Sometimes catches people off guard. A lot of people aren't keeping an eye out for this, and it is won me some games sometimes. Moye, this is one of the premier Sword Soul cards. You're gonna need 3 of these, and this is one of the main deck expenditures. If this is normal or special summon, reveal 1 Sword Soul or Worm monster in your hand or spell card, and you'll summon a rank 4 or level 4 token in the monster zone. You will use this to synchro summon. Whilst this token's out, you can only synchro summon, so you can't link summon temporarily. But whilst this token's out, you can special summon some of the Tenyis and stuff like that. You just won't be able to link them off. But when this is synchro summon, used for synchro summon, you draw 1 card, and it also blocks off like synchro summon like effects. So like when you summon something, it sometimes like kicks off an effect. This will block it off with the draw 1 card, so it can't like be stopped. And the card that we like to usually synchro summon into is Chi Xiao. This is another premier card. This is basically a quick effect, negate a monster on field by banishing a worm monster, and we can get those monsters that are banished away with our 1-star. So this 1-star, you can banish it to bring back a worm that's been banished. So you can send something away with Chi Xiao and then get it back. But yeah, this also is a monster negate. This is one of our premier monster negates. And once it's summoned, you can add 1 Sword Soul card from your deck. So like basically we can add like Sword Soul Emergence, or we could add Sword Soul Stretch Longyan, or we can add our premier trap Sword Soul Blackout, which is one of the better ones. And yeah, getting Moye into Chi is our sort of bread and butter. And I'm gonna just move on to our next card real quick. Taya. So Taya, you is different. So like you normal summon him, and then you activate his effect, and he can banish a worm monster or a sword soul monster, and then summon a token, and then you can use him for like synchro summoning. And when he synchro summons, you can send like a worm to the graveyard. This opens up a lot of combos. You can obviously like synchro summon him into Chi, but you could also do something like Baksha, the Brightness of the Yanzing, which is a very powerful card. When this card is synchro summoned, you can target 2 cards in the field up to the numbers of different original attributes. So the token is water and Taya is wind. So that lets you basically like chuck away 2 monsters in the field back to their hands. So like a link monster or any of the extra deck monsters, it can really end up being quite destructive, this card. That can also easily be synchroed into this as well, which can make a permanent negate to all light monsters on the field. But we'll get into that soon. Next up is Ecclesia. So if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can use this like in your first turn, on your second turn, when you have less monsters. And if you basically use this thing's quick effect, you contribute this card, special summon 1 sword soul or Fallen of Albaz, but we're focusing on the sword soul. So you can use this to summon out Moye, you know, or Taya, and then start kicking off their effects. You usually want to carry this at 3 or 2. It's really up to personal preference, but this is like sort of like almost a 1-card starter in a way. Next up is Perilia. Perilia is a card that's quite frequent in this meta now these days. I like it as a nobleman crossout, and also we like the draw power for turn 2. Ululos, you could carry as many as you want of these, but the same sort of situation. This is very meta right now, so you want to be carrying this for Nobleman's Designator. Surya, this is a new card that's been added into the game. If you control a worm monster or face up non-effect monster, you can special summon this monster from your hand. If you control a worm monster or a non-effect monster, it doesn't really matter. And then if this is synchro summoned, you can basically link summon any monster. Doesn't matter what the link thing is. So like it's like a Tenyi. You can use this to get out a non-effect monster, like Link with the Tenyi, or you can use it for Sasarara, or you can use it for Shaman of the Tenyi. So really good, really lots of options there for you. Outside of that, this basically allows you to, a lot of the time, like Moye can be interrupted by like an effect veiler or infinite impermanence, or Taya can, you know, have his effect interrupted. This sort of allows us to special summon in and assure that we get our our Chi or our Baichia, or even our Muadara. Yeah, it's a good card. Carry 3 or 2, really up to you. Sword Soul Strategist belong on. This used to be like limited, you know. You discard 1 other Sword Soul card and 1 other Worm monster. Special summon this card, and you special summon this token. When this is used as synchro material, you do 1,200 burn damage to your opponent. So this is another bread and butter card of the deck, this premier card. You use this to synchro summon into Baron de Fleur, premier card. You usually want one of these, or you go into Tenyi, or you go into Sword Soul Strategist, Sorang, Quick Chang, Long Yan. Basically, like, yeah, that's the nitty gritty. You get this from using Emergence or fusing into Chi, and that's how you can do it. You can also do other ways to get into your 10 stars, but this is the main way and to get into your level 10s. But I don't really think that needs more explanation. Vishuddha, another Tenyi that you can special summon from your hand. When it's in the graveyard, you can banish it, or if it's in your hand, and then you can target 1 monster and return it to the hand. So this is basically a removal card. It's really great on going first or going second. While going This card is very good for going second, and it's one of the cards that you want to special summon to make some of your synchro summon. Get into that in a second. Ashuna. So this is like a premier Tenyi. You want to really like carry 3 of these at all times. This is really like not an optional one. This is usually like your starter for the most part. Special summon this. If it's in your hand or in the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Tenyi monster from your deck. So this literally like lets you search from the entire deck. So you like special summon this, go into Monk, and then you special summon whatever the Tenyi in your hand needs to synchro summon before you go into Sword Soul. So yeah, lock you into Worm monsters. So if you use Ashuna, you won't be able to Baron de Fleur that turn, which Baron de Fleur is usually seen as a better like end board. Protoss. So Protoss is basically our boss monster, one of our boss monsters. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be first special summoned from your hand by banishing 3 monsters with different attributes from your graveyard and or face up on the field. Cannot be destroyed by a card effect. So basically you can use hand traps for this. You can use Tenyis in your graveyard, synchro summon materials, any link summon materials, whatever you name it. You want to be getting this out, and you can get this out with the variety of worm searchers in your deck. You got Tenyi Infinity here, you got Heavenly Dragon Circle, Vessels, etc. They're gonna help you get Protoss out pretty reliably, like 100% of the time. And the reason why you want to get Protoss out like almost all the time, you can declare 1 monster and attribute, destroy all monsters on the field with that attribute. With him on, you can just call out Dark, and also until the end of the next turn, neither player can special summon monsters with that attribute. That means no one can special summon Dark if you just got Protoss on the field. Obviously, this is a great going second card. It's a great going first card. You can basically, like, it's a floodgate. It's essentially a floodgate. Yeah, it sort of makes the deck in a lot of the ways. Without this, Sword Soul would definitely be defunct. Pot of Desires. This is like our key. This is our pot that we can use. Banish 10 cards from the top of your deck, face down, draw 2 cards. Basically, we don't really suffer from banishing cards as much. We have this boss monster here, Sovereign Changyin, who raises attack and defense and lowers attack and defense based on how many banished cards there are. So that, like, yeah, as this card here banishes 3 monsters, then you banish 10 with this, that's like 13,000 on our big boss monster here, you know. So we really don't care about banishing, so this is really good. Vessels for the dragon cycle. This is basically like Foolish Burial, but better. If we have at least 1 non-effect Tenyi on the field, right, we also get to search for 1 worm monster in our deck. That can be any of the Tenyis. So you throw down 1 of your Tenyis, then you go into Monk, and then you go into Vessels, and then you throw away like Ashuna, pull in Surya, then you summon Vishuddha using Ashuna. Yeah, basically you can just like totally like just special summon like anything. Like you basically can make your entire, this turns basically any of the Tenyi into 1 card like starter. Sword Soul Emergence. This lets you search for any of your Sword Soul card. This will let you just summon Moye. If you use it to summon Kaya, you can actually banish this for his token. It can also be used as materials for Longyun's special summon. If you have a synchro monster on the field, you can use this also to add Protoss to your hand. So this is a good way to get Protoss, so it's a very good card. Tenyi Infinity, this is our field spell. When we place it down, we can get a free Vessel, or we can get Heavenly Dragon Circle. Sorry, mid deck building, you know. I'm changing things around, and the reason why this is you can insert Tenyi Infinity with Mulatara. So you only really need 1 Vessels or 1 Heavenly Dragon Circle, because you can synchro summon to get Tenyi Infinity out. That's why You can run so low of it. Call it by the grave. I don't think I need to explain this. You know, Droll is really hard for us. Maxi is very hard for us. Mulcharmies is really hard for us. Cross out designator for the Mulcharmies very sucks if we get hit by them, and Perulia sucks if we get hit by them. Sometimes we would also run cross out designator for example, Nibiru or Droll. But in this format, not a lot of people are running Droll because of K9, and a lot of people aren't running Nibiru because of K9, so we don't really need to worry about them. But if that was the case, we'd maybe run one of each just for cross-out designator. Moving on to our next thing, Heavenly Dragon Circle. So this lets us tribute one worm monster, add one worm monster from your deck to your hand, or if you have a non-effect monster, you can special summon it instead, but negate its effect. Also, if this is in the graveyard, you can use it to add one Tenyi to your hand. You can only use one effect per turn. So you can discard this and then use it. You can tribute and then use it. So it's really up to you. This can be good droplets fodder. This can be good discard fodder. It also lets you get out Protoss really easily. And also, if you get this off, it sort of sets you up for turn 2. You know, if this is in your graveyard, you have a high chance of getting a Tenyi next turn and not burning out. Sword Soul Blackout. This is one of our very much win war cards, you know. If we have, you know, full Sword Soul in our hand, like Longyan and Taya and Moye, you know, we don't need to really. And we have Protoss, you know, if we have Protoss as well. We don't really need Emergence. We can just go and get Blackout, you know, and this card, like, you can target one monster and you can destroy 2 monsters on the field. So like you tribute one war monster, you get to destroy 2. If you use Protoss as a target, you can't destroy Protoss, so there's no cost for this, you know. If you use Monk while Shithana is in the graveyard, this actually means you destroy 3 targets and you'll get your Monk back. Yeah, it's just a very good trap within this deck, and it's searchable. Very great for going turn 1. Next, I'm going to go into our extra deck. Yazi, basically one of the only like synchro summons for Longyan with our 1-star. This one here, it's great for combos. You can target one Yan Zing monster you control and one monster your opponent controls, destroy them. When this card you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, send it to your graveyard. You can special summon one worm monster for your deck in defense position. So this can really like get out a lot of monsters. So like there's tons of monsters that this really like get out. So you can use this for like getting out Moye, or you can use this for getting out Taya, or you can use it for getting out one of your Tenyes if, you know, you've been sort of whittled down. Baccia, I went into this earlier. This is good removal. You go into Baccia from any of your like if you go into Baccia from Taya, and then you can like flip 2 cards. Just really good. Chichao, I kind of went into this earlier. It's one of your best end board pieces. You can basically negate something on field, and when you summon it, you get to pull one of your Sword Soul cards. Muladhara. This lets you summon Tenyi Infinity. Also, once you have a non-effect monster on field, it cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effect. You cannot target this with card effects, and you can make 2 attacks. So it basically makes Muladhara into sort of like a pseudo boss monster. Obviously, like, he still doesn't have like a super high attack, but yeah, it can really allow you to end up OTKing a lot easier. And also, you know, Tenyi Infinity, our field spell, allows us to like get out Vessels. It lets us get out Heavenly Dragon Circle, which lets us go into Protoss, you know. So it's debatable if like you want to go into Chichao or Muladhara. Chao Fang. So if you go into Chao Fang after Baccia, you can basically make a permanent negate to all light effects. You can add 1 tuner from your deck to your hand. If this like is destroyed by battle or card effect. So that's basically Ash Blossom or Adhara or Surya. Great, like it can do a lot of things with that, you know. If you pop one of the monsters on the field, you can special summon one monster from your deck in defense position if like it matches the element of that monster. So it's good for like continuing combos. A lot of the combos this one makes are a bit advanced, but definitely one of the better cards in the deck. Baron de Fleur, one of our like standard end pieces. So a big meme in the community is Chichao Baron de Fleur path, because that was like the peak of the deck for a long while, and it used to beat people. I don't know if I really need to introduce Baron de Fleur. He's like an Omni negate. He's like a once per summon Omni negate. So if Moses is on the field, you can negate one card activation and destroy that card. You can target one card on the field and destroy it. Yeah, that's basically it. Like, so basically you can, there's a free spot removal and also a free negate on either turn, you know. So sometimes like getting this out early to counter Nib or like them interrupting any of your other parts of your combo, this is quite good. Also, it can like interrupt like the Mulch armies or Maxi or something like that if they hold off, you know. Sword Soul Supreme Sovereign Cheng Ying. This is basically what you'll tend to summon if you're not summoning Baron. Usually if you are a Wormlock. If this card would be destroyed by card effect, you banish one card from your graveyard instead. For each card banished, you get 100 attack and defense. If a card is banished except during the damage set, you can banish one card each from the opponent's field and graveyard. So this goes really well with Chichao, right? So when you use Chichao's negate, that will trigger Cheng Ying, and then he can banish like one monster and one graveyard. So like, yeah, it's like you basically end up removing and negating one thing very effectively, you know. And also you clear some of the graveyard, which is usually a tool. Sword Soul Sinister Sovereign Qichang Longyan. Now if your opponent special summons a monster, you can banish one of those monsters, and if you do, inflict 1200 damage to your opponent. If you synchro summon while this monsters on the field, you can draw one card. So basically if you get this out early and then you start doing your synchro summons, you can draw one card. It's not usually optimal to do that. You usually want to go into Baron. When your opponent activates a spell, trap card, or effect, you can banish that card, and if you do, inflict 1200 damage. So this basically can allow you to remove one monster and one continuous spell, or just do like a lot of burn damage. So it's usually one of our plan B's options, but you know, some people like Kuchang Longyan. There's actually situations where you'll get Kuchang Longyan and Cheng Ying if you're playing your cards right, you know. So not anything to scoff at. Monk of the Tenyi, you really want to be running 2 and 3 of these. You can run out, you know, if you're summoning all your monks of the Tenyi. Cool little guy. Not really much to comment on. Obviously, this is like the crux of your deck, having non-effect monsters out in the field. There's other variations. There's like a third, a Link 3 version of this, which not really relevant, but does exist. Has a higher attack. Obviously, this guy's a little bit squishy, but you can use a lot of the effects to get around that, and we'll go into that later. But yeah, he is what he is. Shaman of the Tenyi. So this is basically sort of like a monster reborn. You can discard one card and then target one war monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Also, for the rest of the turn, you cannot activate the effects of monsters special summoned from the extra deck, except Tenyi monsters. When an attack is declared involving your face-up non-effect monster, you can target one card your opponent just controls and destroy it. So this basically gives monk removal, and on top of that, you can sort of use this as like a monster reborn, but you'll not be able to use like extra deck monsters effects for the rest of the turn. So there's very like few combos where this is good, but it does come in clutch now and again. So Sahasrara, while you control face-up non-effect monsters your opponent controls cannot target effect monsters for attack. Also, your opponent cannot target effect monsters on the field with card effect. So this is like a big floodgate. Quick effect. You can target one effect monster your opponent controls, special summon one Tenyi token. This token's attack becomes that targeted monster's original attack. So yeah, you basically can make, it's a floodgate based on if you have a monk on the field, and it generates more monks that are even more powerful. And it has 3000 attack. This is one of the targets that you can get on optimal boards with Thuria. As you can remember, it can basically link summon any monster for LP. You lose like 3000 LP for, or not, I think it's 4000 LP. You get this out in the field, and it's part of like one of your optimal like end boards. Anyway guys, that's my Sword Soul guide. I'm gonna leave you guys off with some gameplay as well as some combos. If you guys like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below your campaign code so people can follow you. And thank you guys for watching. Catch you guys next time.